Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on Everything Aero Pilates. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to adjust your plus size model straps. If you got your machine between 2013 all the way up to 2019, you probably have a plus model. Aside from the premier models during those times, the majority of the Aero Pilates were using this strap adjustment system. And they've already changed it because it wasn't really the best system, but there are definitely some perks to this plus model strap adjustment system that you're gonna like. Then there's some things that are maybe just a little bit frustrating. However, once you get your straps set, you are good to go and this system will not slip. So in this video, we're gonna be adjusting these straps and we're gonna be talking about the plus and minuses of the strap system. If you have a plus model and you wanna make sure your straps are perfectly even and the right length for you, stay tuned. Okay, to get started on your plus size model handle adjustment or strap adjustment, there's a couple things that you need to know. Every plus size model that I've opened, and it has been plenty, you have handles that are not exactly even, but the entire strap adjustment system is on this handle. It has nothing to do with the back here. This D-ring, anything behind it, does not have to do with the strap adjustment. It's all here in the handle. So in some ways it's pretty easy. It really can just be a pain at first when you're trying to get the right length for you. What I mean about the not being even is these two D-rings, and I've shown this in a video before. These two are the closest I've ever seen to being even, where the D-rings are even here. I'm gonna pull them through here, and yeah, so they look just the tiniest bit off. That does not affect the strap adjustment unless it's just your preference for them to be even. If you need the D-rings even just for your own peace of mind, you are going to need to adjust them by untying the knot under the carriage and retying it. While you're doing that, you're gonna need something to hold the D-rings even. So this is just like a pin that I have from some exercise equipment. You would hold that even and you probably need some help here. Somebody could hold this while you're untying the knots and retying the knots. And then your D-rings can be even. The great thing about that is then your handles can be even. One of the effects of the D-rings not being even is that the handles are gonna have to be slightly different sizes. And I've shown that in other videos before. We'll say one handle could be this big and the other handle would have had to be this big to make the straps even. However far off the D-rings are from being even, that's how far your handles are gonna have to be off from being completely even circles. Over a dozen machines that I have gotten that were plus size models, the D-rings have not been even, but this one is incredible. So I'm gonna show you now how to adjust the straps right for you, whether you have even D-rings or not. And the first thing that we need to do for that is to go ahead and take off these fuzzy handles. These fuzzy handles have Velcro and they just pull right off. And you can just set these aside. You don't need them right now. We're gonna be working with the handle like this. Okay, now that the fuzzy handle is off, I just have this giant handle to work with. And this is the Velcro here. You're gonna unvelcro and you can see, this is how you know if you have a plus size model. If you have a really long handle after this D-ring. This D-ring is right here on my left arm, and then this is the handle. And I would say it's probably about 2.5 feet long, this handle. That's how you know you have a plus size model. So let's go ahead and feed it back through the D-ring here. We're just gonna put that back through. And so don't worry if your handle ever comes out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna Velcro it on for now so that we can lie down on our back and get the right length for our body. With your toe bar in, go ahead and lie down on your back. I have two cords on, just slide and slide around. And let's talk about strap length. We need to put our arms straight out from our shoulders. And we want our strap to barely hug our hand here. So let's go ahead and grab them. You can see, what I don't want is I don't want it to be too far back, and I don't want my hand to be too far forward. I want it to be out from my shoulder. So with this on, it's actually really close to the right length. But let's say it wasn't. The plus size straps are actually pretty easy to do. I'm just gonna unvelcro the strap And I'm just gonna pull on this piece that I just unvelcroed until I get the right length. So let's pull, let's see. That feels, I want it to be tight against my fingers, but not so tight that it's yanking me back. So let me see. It feels right about there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on Velcro at right about that spot. Okay, and I'm just gonna do one arm lower to see how it feels. Okay, that feels pretty good. So I'm just gonna set it on my shoulder pad and I'm gonna get the next one. My next strap, the same thing. I'm gonna unvelcro it. And this side I'm just gonna pull or loosen to get my strap in the right position. So let me get my hand in, straight out from my shoulder. And I'm gonna pull it until it is tight. Not yanking my arm back, but not letting my arm go forward. Let me see, that feels about right there. Maybe a little more. Okay, and I just put that Velcro down. And this is the one thing that can be kind of annoying about these plus size model straps is that you kind of get this gap in here and it bunches the handle, but it's not a huge deal. The good thing about these straps are once you have them Velcroed in, they're not going to move on you like the newest strap system. Even though I adore that system, you do have to lock those brackets in or your handles actually move. And so that's not good. This is not going to move. And so now I'm going to just make sure they're even. And then when I'm looking up, I can see my left hand is a little more forward. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both straps on one hand. And the reason I'm doing this in the middle is because I want to make sure they're even. And this top strap goes a little further than this than the right strap. And so I'm going to unvelcro that again, tighten it up so they're exactly the same in the middle there. Okay, so that feels right. Now I'm just going to look at my hands in the straps and see if they seem even. They look really even to me when I'm looking. And now I'm just going to do a couple arm lowers and see if they feel even. Okay, and this is the one thing about the Plus model that's a little annoying. This right hand feels a little looser, just a smidgen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark with my finger where the edge of the Velcro is right now. I'm going to pull the whole thing up. I'm going to come back and put it on top of my finger to just get a tiny bit more. And then I'm going to Velcro it down. Okay, they look even. Let's do arm lowers again. Okay, those feel even. Now if you want to be very careful, you can try doing some leg lowers. And your legs and hands are going to feel if it's slightly off. You're going to feel one is a little more forward than the other. So let's check it out. Just hanging here, they feel good actually. Okay, so now I'm going to do some lowers. See if they feel like they're lowering evenly. Okay, they feel great. So the little bit of problem with the plus size handles is that it takes a little bit of unvelcroing and velcroing back to get even straps. So just to test, if you want to check again, I'm going to put my arm straight out from my shoulder. See if my strap barely fits on my fingers and is a little tight. It almost feels like it's going to pull it back a tiny bit, but it doesn't actually pull it back. And so there it is. That feels great. It feels just barely tight, where I have a nice, good resistance, but not where it's yanking my shoulder back behind me, which can damage your shoulders. That's why this AeroPilates system, that is why Pilates Reformer is far superior to the other exercise equipments out here that are kind of on a pulley system, allow your arms and legs to work together, but they can really yank your arms back if you're not paying attention. We're here, you're mindful on this workout, but there's no stress in worrying about your arms being yanked. And this is keeping your arms in the frame of your body, which is what Joe Pilates firmly believed in. Okay, so now that my straps are even, we're gonna sit up and just check a couple more things. So we went ahead and lied down first, and the reason we did that was because we really needed to make sure that our arms weren't pulling forward or back, that they were staying in the frame of our body. And now we're just gonna pull our straps into the center of our AeroPilates here and see if they're even right here. And it looks like the right is just a tiny, tiny bit forward. I would say a finger forward. So now I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a finger. Lift it up, put it on top of that finger. Let's check again. Okay, straight in the middle, they look even. I just used my pointer finger. I'm pulling them firmly through my headrest. I have cords on so it doesn't move. And you can see right here, at their ends, they are even there. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and put our fuzzy handles back on. And just one thing to mention on the Plus handles, these loop out, they get kind of bunched, they look funny, but when you pull on them for your exercises, you still have an equal strap. So no matter how it looks, if it kind of gets, you know, these get kind of twisted and stuff, once you get your hand or foot into it, you're still gonna get that right length. So this is not gonna move. That's one thing I love about the Plus models, is now the strap is set. It has Velcro holding it in place. It is not going to be moving on you. But like you can see, it might get twisted like this, and you just kind of have to pull it down. Sometimes you have to readjust this furry handle, but you still have a really efficient handle here. So other than looks and maybe having to adjust it a little bit when you first get on, this is a great system. Okay. Now, if you got on this later and you felt like they were a little off, even though you did all the checks, you don't always have to take off the furry handle if you just need a quick adjustment. I could just scoop my handle until I can see where I adjust. And I've done this before. And see, even right now they're not lined up. So I'm gonna mark where I was. And I'm just gonna put it back just to show you. You don't always have to take your handle off. I would just do it at first. So I could just adjust slightly there and check them again in the middle. These fuzzy handles are already kind of twisted and off center. That doesn't matter because you still have the right length of strap for all your movements. Hook that on the shoulder pad. Now our AeroPilates Plus model has even straps and is ready for a workout. The good thing about these straps is unless you have somebody that's a lot taller or a lot shorter, you don't have to change these per person. As I mentioned with the other strap system, I would literally just come in here, mark with a marker, like a little silver Sharpie marker where I need my strap to be, and then I could mark where, for instance, my son or my husband needed this strap to be because they're taller, they might need a couple more inches. Once it's marked, you just Velcro back to your mark and you are good to go. It's easy adjustment back and forth. For that quick adjustment when you're moving in between people, leave that handle on, scoot it down, and adjust where it needs to go. Slide the handle back down, and you are ready to work out. And honestly, the newer system, even though I really love it, one thing that's kind of annoying is they do slip if they're not locked in. And when people are going back and forth and using them, you really have to make sure it's locked in. For instance, if somebody puts the straps back for you to use, before you use it, you need to make sure they're locked in. And that's in that video. But these Plus model straps are always gonna be the length that you have them out. They're not gonna slip, that Velcro will hold. So don't feel like you're being gypped if you have a plus size strap system. Again, they twist. I know it can be ugly, it can be annoying, but it stays put. And the only other disappointment with the Plus model is that you cannot change this out for a double loop. Because the entire adjustment system is in this handle, you cannot switch it out with a double loop handle or your legs will be like way back there, your arms will be like pulled way back just because it's so short past the D-ring this way. and the length is up here in the handle. So that's the only other disappointment with the Plus model. But again, these straps are really great, and you can change out these fuzzy handles by getting the comfort kit. Every now and then you can get a new fuzzy handle. You can wash these. Okay, you guys, I know that video was a long time coming. I had it filmed and I got a little overzealous deleting video clips off of my computer to make room, and I deleted like the most important clip on showing how to adjust that. So I apologize for taking so long to film this, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you have a Plus model, do not feel like your strap is inferior. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today for this strap adjustment video. I hope you are all loving your AeroPilates, and I will see you next time on Everything AeroPilates. Bye, guys.